Okay, we're looking at LSAT 63. This is June of 2011, and this is Analytical Game 2. Exactly 6 members of a skydiving team, L, O, P, T, W, and Z, each dive exactly once, one at a time, from a plane consistent with the following condition. Okay, so we should know right now we're dealing with a sequential game. We suspect that there could be a grouping aspect to it, but it doesn't seem that way. And it turns out it's not. I mean, I've already kind of got it set up. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rules. T dives from the plane at some time before W. So T is before W. L dives from the plane either first or last. L is first or L is last. Neither W nor Z dives from the plane last. So W and Z cannot occur last. P dives from the plane at some time after either O or L, but not both. So we have P diving after O here and P diving after L here, and it can't be both, so we create this string. So it's one or the other of these. Okay? All right, as always, we want to utilize the hierarchy of rules to solve the scenarios, right? We know we've got a first order rule here, okay? And it requires the creation of 2 worlds. So we'll go ahead and do that. We have L can occur here, and I'm just going to come down here. Or L can occur here, one or the other. This rule is taken care of. Now, we know that W and Z can't occur 6th. All right, so right here, we know that W and Z can't occur here. So we'll just go ahead and state this. W and Z can't occur there. Also, if you take a look, P can't occur here. All right, so what is left over, okay? We have L, W, Z, and P used up. L, W, Z, and P left up. We have T and O left over, but take a look. T cannot occur after W, so we know that T actually can't occur here. So we actually have another direct placement of a variable. We know that this happens. Okay, so this is eliminated. And so we're really just dealing with 2 rules here, okay? And what we want to think about is what can occur with regard to where is T? Where can T be placed? We're looking at this rule here. T could not occur here, okay? So T's range, as of right now, can only go from here. All right, let me kind of redo this. Let's just think about it just like this. All we have left is T must occur before W, and then we have, and then we're dealing with just P, which can go anywhere because L and O are sandwiched on the outside of that, and we're also dealing with Z. So we have P and Z that occur like that. All right, here what can happen? Well, we know for a fact that O must occur before P. And we know that T must occur before W. All right, and then we're just left with Z, who can occur anywhere. All right, so normally I wouldn't think about rules of exclusion, but we must understand that O and T cannot occur here. Because you have to have, O has to occur before P. Also, T can't occur here. And that's about it. That's about all I would want to do with it. We've got a scenario template, and we're ready to just move to the questions. Okay. Which one of the following could be an accurate list of members in the order in which they dive from the plane from first to last? Okay, so again, we have an elimination question. What we want to do is eliminate answer choices by going through the rules and figuring out which answer choice actually violates a rule. So if we look at the first rule, T must occur at some time before W. That is C. W occurs before T, so C is eliminated. If we look at the second rule, L dives from the plane either first or last. Well, if you look at E, that's eliminated because L does not dive first or last. Then the third rule, neither W nor neither W nor Z dives from the plane last. We'll take a look at A. That's eliminated. We're just left with B and D now. And then we have this sandwich rule, OPL or LPO. And if you look at it, We have P, O, L, and D, so D falls out. As such, answer choice B is the absolute correct answer to the question. Let's look at 7. Which one of the following must be true? At least 2 members dive from the plane after L. So the question becomes, well, we didn't know from our scenario template that L can be the very last one, so A is not a must be true. B, at least 2 members dive from the plane after O. Well, O is last in the first scenario, so that's no good. Let's look at C. At least 2 of the members dive from the plane after P. Well, we know that P could occur right here in our second scenario. It also could occur right here, so only 1 member would have to, so C falls out. And then D, at least 2 members dive from the plane after T. Well, we know that T can't go here. The earliest T can go is going to be here. Therefore, 2 members of the team must dive after T. Thus, D is the correct answer to the question. Let's look at E. At least 2 of the members dive from the plane after W. Well, we know in the second scenario template here that W could be the 5th. So that does not have to be true. As such, it cannot be the correct answer to the question. Again, the correct answer to the question is D. 8. If L dives from the plane last, then each of the following could be true except. Okay, so we're looking at L diving last. Thus, we're looking at this scenario template. We'll see if we have to do any more work, but let's just take a look and see if we can figure out what the correct answer to the question could be from the work that we've done right here. So each of the following could be true except T dives from the plane 4th. Well, we know that there's nothing preventing T from diving from the plane 4th. It's only 5th, so that could be true. B, W dives from the plane 4th. Again, there's nothing preventing W from occurring here. W could actually even occur 5th, so that could be true. C, O dives from the plane 5th. Well, we know that cannot be true because O must occur before P, because we need this rule to come into play. Since L is here, we can't invoke the other side of this rule. So we know for a fact that C cannot be true. Thus, it is the correct answer to the question because the question asks what could be true except. Critical thing on all of any part of the LSAT is to remember what the question is. That's the most easiest way to make a mistake when you don't have to, and you always want to minimize your mistakes. So here, if you weren't thinking about it, you might be looking for something that could be true. You're actually looking for something that cannot be true. Okay, let's go ahead and look at D, though. P dives from the plane 5th. Well, we know that P could occur 5th. There's nothing that prevents that, so that could be true. Thus, it cannot be the answer to the question. And then E, Z dives from the plane 5th. There's nothing preventing Z from going 5th. It's free to run around the 5 variable locations. So again, we know for a fact the answer to the question is C. 9. If Z dives from the plane immediately after W, then which one of the following must be false? So we have a situation here where we have T, let me put it over here. Basically what we're saying in this game, T is before W and Z. Okay, so I'm going to come down and go ahead and create some scenarios based on the confining characteristics of this question. It's very hard to see what's going on in our master. Okay, all right, so what we need to think about is we're going to have T occurring before both W and Z, and then we'll need to have a block there. Okay, a block will need to be taking up a block of space. So, all right, let's kind of move. Let's take a look at the answer choices and see what we come up with. All right. So which one of the following must be false? L dives from the plane first. Well, if L were to dive from the plane first, we're dealing with this first scenario. We know that we could have a T and a WZ wherever we wanted, and P could slip into place. I mean, we know that it's possible to have T and WZ just in this top scenario. And I'll just go ahead and just in case anybody's confused, this could totally work. No problem. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we know that A could be true, thus it cannot be the answer to the question. All right, B, T dives from the plane third. Okay, well, if we think about it, we know that T would have to occur at least 1 through 3 because we'd have this WZ. We need to have the WZ there, so let's just make sure that that can work. And we've got it. All right, so that works. Thus, B is possible, and it is not the answer to the question because it's asking us what must be false. Let's look at C. Z dives from the plane third. Okay, well, let's take a look and see if that can work. If we have Z diving third, and W here, we could put a T here, and then we just have to deal with our O and P. That works, it's okay, thus it is not the answer to the question. And then let's look at D. P dives from the plane fourth. Let's see what happens when that happens. If I put P fourth, okay, if I put P fourth, if you look at this one, W and Z could only go here. That wouldn't work because I need a T before that. It seems to work here, right? I could have a T and a W and a Z, but I have to put the O here, and I cannot ever have a P, O, and L. So we know for a fact that D cannot be true, thus it must be false, and it is the answer to the question. Okay, let's go ahead with E, though. Z dives from the plane fourth. And it would happen right here. We've already actually built this. So that is possible, and thus we know, again, D is the correct answer to the question. If you're taking the real test, you really would stop at D. You'd have to be very careful. I hate games that are kind of nuts and bolts like this, but it's the nature of the way the test maker wants us to prove skills. Okay, let's look at 10. If T dives from the plane immediately after L, so if we have an LT, then each of the following could be true except, okay? Well, we know that we'd be dealing with this scenario because L is here and we need LT to go right after L. So we have LT and O, all right? And basically what we have is WPZ can occur in any order that we want them to. All right? So let's take a look at the answer choices. So each of the following could be true except A, O dives from the plane third. Well, no, that cannot be true because we know that O has to be sixth. A is the correct answer to the question. Let's look at B, though. W dives from the plane third. That can happen. Z dives from the plane third. That also can happen. P dives from the plane fourth. We know that that can happen. And then W dives from the plane fourth. That all can happen. WPZ can go in any order here. Thus, we know that the answer to the question is A, because it cannot be true that O dives from the plane third when we have a situation where we need L and T to occur in a block like this. Okay, that concludes Analytical Game 2, Prep Test 63, June of 2011. Thanks.